Hello, my name is Alexia, and today I will be introducing our topic on genetic cloning. Genetic engineering, also known as genetic modification and genetic manipulation, refers to the set of technologies that directly manipulate on an organism's genes, change the genetic makeup of cells, and add one or more new traits that are not found in that organism. It's when a gene of a particular organism is harnessed and the copy is inserted into the DNA of another organism to modify its characteristics. Genetic engineering has been applied in numerous fields, including research, medicine, industrial biotechnology, and agriculture. In this video, we'll be focused on the medicinal aspect of genetic engineering as we talk about genetic cloning.
Gene cloning. What is it? Gene cloning is a process in which a gene of interest is located and copied or cloned out of DNA extracted from an organism. The pros and the cons of gene cloning: pros being a parent with no eggs or sperm can create children that are genetically related. Gene cloning can also replace failing organs, and it can also obtain desired traits in organisms. The cons of gene cloning is the lack of diversity and originality in organisms, because you're creating an exact replica of something else. And another con is the faster aging, which could potentially lead to premature death.
Okay, hi, my name is Cambria Mall, and I'm going to be going over why genetically modified animals are interesting. So I believe that it's interesting to me because I think that a lot of people do not know about genetically engineered animals and what they are eating exactly. And a lot of these things are being hidden from the consumers that are buying them. And there are a lot of benefits in products that we eat that are genetically modified, but I think there are reasonable questions that are proposed in what we're eating, especially because there are no long-term studies on when eating genetically modified animals. So being sold to customers, we need to really see what we are eating and see what the long-term effects are. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I'm going to be talking about the current state of knowledge on cloning. So currently, cloning and its technology has made a lot of progress since the first cloning of Dolly the sheep in 1997. The technique used to clone Dolly was called somatic nuclear cell transfer, and back then the technique wasn't that known and there wasn't that much understanding on it. But in 2010, Professor Keith Campbell announced that Dolly was cloned 4 times and it actually was successful. And then just a year before, in 2009, an extinct species known as the Pyrenean ibex was also successfully cloned, but unfortunately it died shortly after birth due to birth defects. And though cloning has been taking off and has advanced, it still poses an ethical issue. People in favor of cloning draw on liberal freedoms, that everybody has reproductive freedom, and those against cloning, they say that they fear for the health of the clone. Despite the controversy, cloning is still banned in most countries, most specifically the somatic nuclear cell transfer form. And that is all.
Hi, my name is Eleanor, and I'm going to be talking about some controversies that deal with cloning. There are many ethical concerns when it comes to cloning, and these concerns can be divided into 2 categories. Concerns that deal with the effect of cloning on animals and human welfare, and the objection to the idea of cloning. A concern about cloning deals with the consumption of food produced from cloned animals by humans. Although the FDA and the European Food Safety Authority came to the conclusion that the consumption of meat or milk from these cloned animals is harmless, people still have their concerns. Another concern of cloning deals with the cost of production. It takes tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars, meanwhile millions of unwanted dogs and cats are killed each and every year. There are many, many more concerns when it comes to cloning, but I just wanted to inform you on these 2.
My name's Brittany, and I'll be talking about the future directions of cloning. Because technology is continuing to advance at such a fast pace, there are various different directions that cloning is taking. One form of cloning that is actually trying to be worked on right now is actually called embryo splitting. And embryo splitting is basically It happens during the early stages of cell development, and it is when cell embryo is manually divided into 2 individual cells, and then those 2 individual cells grow as identical embryos. Obviously, this is a little hard to kind of move forward with, which is why it's a future direction, because there's so many ethical views on it. They're saying that embryo is considered a human, and manually going in and changing it like that is very controversial. But embryo splitting is definitely one direction that gene cloning is taking, that they're working toward. One main future direction that cloning is working on is actually removing the ban that it has on so many countries. There are about 30 countries that have formally banned cloning, and there are also other countries that didn't formally ban it, but it's illegal to clone for reproductive purposes, meaning you can only clone for research. So one direction that they're trying to take is kind of spreading the awareness of the pros of cloning. A lot of people are holding conventions that kind of spread the pros of cloning rather than focusing on the negatives. Yeah, one definite huge direction that they're trying to go towards is removing the ban of gene cloning, because with the ban there's not much room for medical advancement, because if it's banned and it's illegal, then you can't really practice it. So yeah, I know a lot of people who are pro cloning are working towards removing that ban and removing the negative connotation that comes with gene cloning by focusing more on the pros and what it can do for human race rather than the cons and how it hurts us.